Welcome back again to Radio Entrepreneurs. We have a full slate this week of entrepreneurs and leaders talking about leadership and management. And again, my name is Jeffrey Davis. I am a management consultant myself at Mage LLC, and you can find us online anytime you want. Our next guest is Joe Rare, owner and CEO of Level 9 Virtual. Welcome, Joe.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
That was my grandfather's name.
Was it? Oh, good. It's my father-in-law's name too. So that's exciting.
I like it better than my name. So tell us about Level 9 Virtual.
Yeah, so we're a virtual assistant services business. So, obviously it's a very common thing for businesses to use virtual assistants and outsourcing. We started years and years and forever ago. I can't even recall, 8 years ago, I believe. And I've used virtual assistants every single day since November of 2008. So it kind of came natural to move into actually offering the service and, sharing with people how to effectively outsource their team and create leverage in their business, both cost leverage and creating more time. And so Level 9 Virtual has dedicated VAs, project-based, services, web development, live lead nurture services. So somebody to take inbound calls similar to call center, but also mainly a lot of that is chat and messaging and SMS. And that's what we do.
How did you get into the business?
So I hired my first virtual assistant in 2008. I've built multiple companies using teams of virtual assistants. I then launched later down the road, launched an agency, a marketing agency, a local business using a combination of virtual assistants plus, local talent. That business did not do as well as I had hoped. I ended up choosing to close it down and relaunch in a more defined niche with defined services, and went 100% built on virtual assistants, created a business model that could be replicated so that we could do it multiple times. And then I realized that when we took that small business, that agency, relaunched it from 0 to 109,000 in 4 months, then we doubled it again 4 months later. I realized, hold on, I could do this with the virtual assistant business that we were kind of dabbling with, and then did that. The company grew excessively. We hit 8 figures, and we've been off to the races since.
So you finally found the correct niche.
We found the correct niche, but we also found the right model so that it allowed everybody to do what they were most skilled at and where we were going to get the most output. I think in the beginning, I wasn't a very good leader when it came to running my company. I didn't understand how to lead talent very well. Now I'm really good at hiring people to lead the rest of the team. And I get to play visionary, which is what I believe in and what I enjoy.
Good. Leaders do have to evolve. Any important lessons that you'd like to share with other leaders, a couple that you've learned along the way through trial and error?
I would say failing fast and is a really good one. It's something I've been chatting about a lot lately. But for me, actually, probably the thing that's hitting home the most right now is this idea of leading or lagging indicators. And so setting goals, no matter what they are, if you're setting a goal of, say, I want my company to hit $1 million a month, that's a lagging indicator. And the only way to hit those is to have all the leading indicators actually align and hit and do that. And so we've always called it inputs and outputs. And so we changed all of our goal setting and all of our future pacing and everything that we do. And we've set them to be very, very direct and specific with our team, which is very simply the inputs that we put in are the only thing that we're looking for. I know what I'm hoping the outputs will be, but the inputs are the things that are most important. So if it's 100 dials a day, the only thing on somebody's mind who's doing that is 100 dials a day. If it's, creating one video a day, that is their only job. They have one thing. They don't need to look and say, the goal isn't 5 per week. The goal isn't, 30 in a month. It is simply 1 a day. And when we do that and we know we execute on just that, the lagging indicator, the output, we hit it 100% of the time.
I heard 2 things. I heard 2 things. One, I heard fail fast, which I love the term.
Yeah.
And the other one, it's KISS. Keep it simple, stupid.
For sure.
Focus on what you have in front of you. Don't be thinking about what you have to do later.
Correct. Yeah.
so that you know who
Everything will come out later if you do what
right.
you're supposed to do right in front of you.
I tend to hyper focus when I'm working, and I have found it to be beneficial to me, except when someone walks up behind me.
Yeah.
I like to be very alone when I'm working. Uh, is your business changing dramatically?
It
AI?
did when it did when COVID hit. We pivoted quite a bit. Took on a new service offering that was different than what we were kind of focused on previously. That allowed us to scale really, really fast, especially during the COVID times. Right now, we're seeing a little bit of the kind of the exact same trend happening right now. We're seeing the businesses are starting to pull back dollars. So we're kind of just evaluating where it's going to go right now. I mean, we kind of took two of our services, kind of swapped some of their revenues. So, higher price stuff kind of dropped to a little bit lower price stuff. But we gained a lot more of the lower price, business. So it's kind of, we're evaluating what's happening. I think we're still early to figure out how it's going to go. But as far as evolution, I mean, we're a staffing company for the most part. The way that we evolve is by providing a higher level of service in a shorter amount of time at the same price point if we can. And so we're always evaluating how we can provide that.
Do you find that there are certain industries that are easier to sell for you than others?
Of course, if somebody understands what a virtual assistant is, that's the first thing. Go into a small business that has no idea, and I have to explain to them what virtual assistants and outsourcing, what that is, that entire concept. That's a much different sell. And then you have to break that mindset barrier that, somebody overseas can't do what somebody here can, and so forth. So we look at, real estate agent, marketing agencies, anything in the marketing realm is very, very effective with it. So those would be probably two of the highest. Home services are getting pretty heavy into it as well, because they just don't have the time to deal with somebody in-house. So those, I would say those are probably the top three. That maybe medical as well.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Becoming more commoditized over time?
Of course. Yeah. There's just more and more people doing it. And, everybody wants to do the race to the bottom. Who can get the cheapest labor where in the world? And then they want to just, try to undercut everybody else. We've always been upper middle price points in everything that we do. We stay there. We've actually raised our prices even when the economy shifted a bit. We've actually been raising our prices. And just the reason is because we provide a higher level of service. Our team is more, it costs more, right? Their labor cost is higher than somebody from, wherever people are getting them in India and so forth. It is getting a little bit commoditized. People are, they're making this kind of just an option that's just available, that's so readily available that they have eliminated the value behind it and the actual service behind it. And it's just trading the dollar for, an hour. And so it's getting a little competitive, but I mean, again, we stay in a different price point. So we're not really affected.
Well, Joe, I find it an intriguing industry, and I know my clients are starting to look at this. It's having an assistant is now coming back in style, probably because of people like you. And we are speaking with Joe Rare, owner and CEO of Level 9 Virtual. Where are you out of, Joe?
I live in Montana.
A lot of open space.
Yeah, that was the reason we got here. We wanted the open space. My kids did, for sure.
Nice. Joe, if somebody wants to connect with you, how would they find you?
Level 9 virtual.com. And you can go Joe at level9virtual.com is great as well.
Great. Remind everybody, this is Radio Entrepreneurs, and hopefully we'll be speaking to Joe Rare again on Radio Entrepreneurs.